Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. And this is actually my first candle review of 2026. So, Happy New Year to all of you. Now, you might be thinking, Katie, we are done with Christmas. A lot of us are done with Christmas fragrances, including yours truly. I actually put away all of my Christmas decorations over the weekend. And I am also filming this video outside because I currently have a family member that is not feeling so well and they are couch rotting today and watching TV. But I was burning this candle because this is a fragrance that I actually still enjoy going into the month of January. And I figured, you know what? Even though it is not currently available on the website in this format or the two wick, this is a fragrance that Kringle does seem to freshly pour and have in stock for the fall and winter months. So I know that, I'm quite certain that they will bring this one back. I haven't heard any news that this one is retiring. I do believe that it sells quite well. So I wanted to go ahead and document my thoughts and have a review of this up on my channel so that way if somebody discovers Kringle or maybe is interested in this fragrance for the next holiday season, my thoughts are documented. So, what candle am I talking about? Well, we are talking about Cozy Christmas. Now, this fragrance is typically available in this 4-wick format that I have in front of you today. This is 32 ounces of 100% soy wax. This size vessel does retail for $45. They also have this available in the large 2-wick format. That's 22 ounces of wax. I do know that that was part of the after Christmas sale, and I believe that is now sold out. But they did have that listed for 50% off. So if you are a fan of this fragrance, I hope that you picked it up during the sale. And then this is also still on the website available in daylight and wax melt. So if this is a fragrance that you are intrigued by, don't really want to commit to the full size yet, feel free to always throw in a daylight or wax melt. But let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance notes here. Fragrance notes of this candle are top notes of firewood, Nordic cedar, mid notes of nutmeg and orange rind, base note of vanilla bean. This specific candle that I am reviewing for you guys has a pour date of July 10th, 2025, and that's something that you're going to want to pay attention to, particularly when I start talking about the performance of this candle. So, I love this fragrance, you guys. This is actually one of my all-time favorite, like just I would say like winter fragrances. It's funny because even though the packaging is very much perfect for Christmas, I mean that's beautiful packaging, right, for Christmas. Even though it's packaged as a Christmas fragrance, and a lot of people find kind of these hearth type fragrances to be Christmas scents, for me personally, this is one that I typically will start burning maybe like the week of Christmas, but I actually really enjoy burning this in that week, like we had last week, where it's that week between Christmas and New Year's, where the actual holiday itself is over, but for me, my Christmas decor is still up. All of the hustle and bustle and making sure you have gifts wrapped and all that kind of stuff, it's done. It's died down. And I just kind of want to have those like cozy days we sleep in. My husband usually has the week off. My kids are home from school. There's really no like time schedule that we're following. And I just feel like this is such a perfect fragrance for that. Throw in that we've had some cloudy, not necessarily cold, but like cloudy and slightly rainy weather. This one is just perfect. My nose definitely picks up on this fragrance. I do get kind of like a hearthside type of fragrance. Now, it is interesting that they note orange rind in here because to me, this is not like, I do smell the citrus in here. I do smell the sweetness of orange, but this is not your like juicy, bold orange front and center. This is not like Away in a Manger or even Vintage Pomander. This is definitely a more subtle and subdued citrus note. It's not juicy orange. It is definitely, the citrus is present, but it is definitely more the citrus that you would pick up from the rind of the orange. Maybe I don't want to use the word bitter because there's nothing bitter about this fragrance, but it's just not that vibrant, juicy orange note. That's not what my nose is picking up in here. Definitely a little bit of that nutmeg is in there. And there is kind of a woodiness to this, but this is not like, this is nowhere near as woody and sweet as, say, their Christmas fragrance, Snow Capped Fraser. This is not really a tree scent at all. So if you're seeing those kind of like tree notes in there, like a cedar, to me, it's more of the the resinous element of it without it crossing the line to being super woody and sweet and sappy. But yeah, firewood, there's a slight hint of smokiness. I've heard a lot of people compare this to, and I would say that it is in the same fragrance family as Bath and Body Works Winter. Now, I've said this numerous times on the channel. Their new Winter Flight candle, Frosted Dawn, is more similar to winter and to my nose. This to me, though, it is in that same fragrance family. If you like Winter by Bath and Body Works, I think that you'll like this fragrance. But I'm going to tell you guys, of that fragrance family, which is kind of like slightly woody, hearthy, got a little bit of citrus going on in it. Of that fragrance family, I'm going to tell you guys, this is actually my favorite scent. There's something about this one that I love. It's just slightly different enough that it sets itself apart. And like I said, it's just a very cozy fragrance. Now, that being said, I did burn this with Frosted Dawn from Kringle. They did send that to me in PR, and that was in my most recent empties video. So now I am pairing this alongside Caramel Sundays Home for Christmas, which is very much like winter. And then I'm also pairing this with Caramel Sundays Dad's Fresh Cut Fraser. Or if you happen to have vintage pomander or Away in a Manger in your stash, if you want a little bit more of that like citrus brightness going into the month of January, but you're not quite ready to let go of this cozy element, try pairing this with Away in a Manger or Vintage Pomander. So let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle, because this has been something that has kind of become a little bit of a more recent issue. So you're going to look here. Okay. I've had this candle burning. Let me check my clock here. I've had this candle burning for about 3.5 hours now. And here's something you're going to see. Okay, these flames right now, they look okay. But prior to me moving the candle out here, it was developing kind of puny wicks. I did end up dumping a tiny bit of wax prior to coming out here, and then I relit the wicks because truthfully, you guys, when I went to move the candle, the wicks were burning so slowly that it was very easy. Like just one little splash of wax, the wicks were going to go out, right? They were going to extinguish. So right now this is burning okay. I will tell you, this wax pull was there even with the wicks burning slower, but that didn't start happening to me until I want to say it was 2 burns ago on this candle that I started to notice that the wicks were really, really slowing down. Now, here's the funny thing about that, you guys. I mentioned this in my collection video when I was sharing about what candles I had from Kringle in this extra large format. I uploaded that, I think, on Saturday. Here's the thing. I think a lot of our brains are really trained to kind of panic when we start seeing those puny wicks, because if you're familiar with burning brands, say like Bath and Body Works, even Homeworks to some degree, I don't burn Goose Creek, and I've heard their wicks are hit or miss. I think oftentimes we start to panic when we see puny wicks because we oftentimes think that that's the harbinger that the candle's performance is severely going to change. It usually means that the wax is going to get sooty, that the fragrance is going to change, that it's going to decrease in strength and throw. Here's the thing that I found the other night, you guys, when I started to notice the puny wicks on this, and I'm still noticing with this. The wax is still clean. The fragrance has not altered. I will say today I did notice, I feel like when this candle is going at full steam, it's about an 8.5 in terms of strength and throw in my open concept. But when those wicks start to pitter out a little bit more, I found that after 2 hours of burn, it was maybe more of like a 7 in terms of strength and throw. So it did impact, but again, not to the point where I couldn't smell the candle at all, which is typically what I find when 3 wicks start to develop puny wicks, or even 2 wicks. I am going to tell you guys that this is where you want to pay attention to, like, okay, this was a July 10th pour date. This vessel is sold out, which means all of the candles that were poured on that pour date are sold out. So when this candle comes back into stock in a 4-wick, it's going to be a new fresh pour date. I am going to tell you guys that last week when I experienced kind of I don't even want to call it like drowning wicks, but maybe like the smaller wicks, I had posted it on my Instagram story, and Mick Kittredge, does follow me on Instagram, and he did respond to my story. You know, he said, can you send me a picture? He is very, very good. He and the Kringle team are really good, you guys, about listening to constructive feedback about their products. And, you know, he suggested, he said, maybe dump a little bit of wax, do a little bit longer burn time. Not dump wax. He recommends putting in a, after you extinguish the flames, like soaking up some of the excess wax, like either with a cotton ball or a paper towel. I personally just dump a little bit of wax because I'm, you know, I'm pretty clean about that. I'm not very clumsy. But anyways, he said, let me know if it doesn't correct, you know, and I told him, I said, you know, the wax is still clean. It's still throwing, whatnot. But he did say that he is going to have the people on his team look into this a little bit more. Maybe they need to up the wick size, but then the trade off that you can get with that sometimes, you guys, is when you up the wick size on some of these candles, then you might get a sootier burn, a hotter burn, a faster burn, which then that could alter the fragrance in and of itself. You might get more soot. So there's always a trade off. And so, anyways, I did want to let you guys know that Kringle is looking into that. And again, if you're watching this video in real time in January 2026, you know, I would still say put this candle on your radar. This is a fragrance that I will still repurchase. I will buy another 4-wick of this when it becomes available. Probably not like right away, but as we get closer, probably I'm assuming by summer they're probably going to start pouring more of their Christmas candles and whatnot. And so yeah, overall, you guys, this fragrance does get 2 thumbs up from me. You guys know I am an affiliate with Kringle. This was not sent to me in PR. I did purchase this candle with my own money. My affiliate code with Kringle is Katie15. It will save you 15% off of your purchase with them. That is usually on full priced items or on your route packaging, package protection. Um, and it is eligible for a commission. So I do always want you to be aware of that. But anyways, you guys, let me know in the comment section down below what your experience has been with this candle. Do you love this fragrance? What's your experience with the wicks on the 4 wicks? I haven't experienced that yet with some of this format, but I know some other people have been saying that they've been experiencing some puny wicks too. So let Kringle customer service know. I know that there's somebody in the Facebook group that works for Kringle that asked for feedback as well. So make sure that you respond to that. All right, you guys, I feel a coughing fit coming on, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Please hit thumbs up if you like it. Consider subscribing if you're new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.